Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Well, start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. Showing from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. A beautiful day it is, and by the dressing, you can tell what day it is right here. This is Voice of the People Television, and this is the program, VOP This Morning. I'm Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. Don't worry, it's not the all one big proper time. You know, today is Friday, and it's Thank God it's Friday Day. And today is also the 11th day in the month of October 2024. Moses wants to go for one bit, but Rivers State, we have conflicting judgments as court nullifies Rivers budget and orders Governor Fubara to, go back and bring in the Amewule State Assembly. Rivers and Fubara is under pressure, as the case may be.
Good morning and welcome to VOP This Morning. My name is Chukwuma Okoro. Away from the confusion in Rivers State, Ipman and NMPCL bicker over price hike, even as TUC does federal government with the end-bust governance protests looming again.
Oh well. It's 1 month, one protest, or one conversation around protest. Well, be part of the conversation right here. We are not protesting anything just yet. And we're just here to keep you informed of everything going on. So be part of the conversation. Join us on YouTube. Click on the notification button and comment. Let's know where you're watching us from as well. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. All right, it's spelled out that way. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live.
All right.
Now, let's, okay, fine.
Sorry, away from the major stories, there are other trending stories in the polity. And one of such stories is that the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has emphasized that President Bola Tinubu remains committed to Nigeria's growth, urging Nigerians to support his administration's reforms. During her visit to the Ooni of Ife, she reiterated the president's vision for progress, dismissing claims of greed. Wow. The visit also included the commissioning of a road named in her honor at Obafemi Awolowo University, a gesture of goodwill by the traditional leader. And in a significant policy update, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has removed the requirement for married women to provide their husband's approval for a visa clearance certificate. The decision follows social media backlash over the previously gender discriminatory rule, which has now been scrapped as part of a wider review of the clearance process. I guess women are having it all.
When I saw that, I was very, very happy, Chukuma. When I saw, how can you wake up and you tell me that for me to be able to apply for a visa, I must get, a clearance from my husband to say he's in support of me getting this. Whereas there is no way where the man needs to get the wife's approval, for the man to apply for the visa. I don't like, what is really
sorry, it's a man's word.
No, it's not a man's word. That's why they say women first. That's what people say. Oh, after you, ladies first. So why will it be a man's word?
But
I think in Africa, we're also it to be a man's word. And
I hope you are not taking us back to Beijing here. Meanwhile, a bill proposing the arming of federal road safety corps officers has passed its second reading in the House of Representatives. The legislation seeks to establish a special armed squad within the FROSC and promote advanced technology-based traffic enforcement measures. These reforms are intended to improve road safety and reduce accidents on Nigerian highways. When I heard
it's a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. Moses, when I heard about Oluremi Tinubu saying that my husband is not greedy, and I said, I checked out with a few Nigerians, and they said, yes, the president is not greedy. But not a few disagree with the fact that he is very, very extravagant, that the president is profligate, especially not with his own money, but with Nigerians' money.
Are you sure it's not his money? Because also the First Lady said something. He said, we are very rich, that we don't need Nigerians' money.
Well, she said that at the beginning.
At the beginning.
During campaigning.
So,
she said, was it during campaigning or after elections?
it was after.
Yes, it was after elections.
After the election.
Said, but I think Nigerians should be asking the right questions. She also said something. She said he's preparing a better future. All right? A better future for who? We should ask the right questions. Better future for who? For Nigerians or for his family? Because we have a situation whereby the president is awarding contracts to agencies that are linked to his son. All right? We have a situation whereby the president has 17 oil wells in the Niger Delta. And
Confirmed?
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, about 17 oil wells belongs to the president, situated in the Niger Delta. The blending plant in Malta is purportedly linked to the president with some people related to the president, call them children or, nephews, manning that, manning the blending plant in Malta. We also have a situation whereby, advertising agencies, Alpha Beta, is also linked to the president. And these are money-making agencies. So with everything going on, he seems to be securing a future for the Tinubus. But I ask the question, if she says a better future, is it for the Tinubus or for Nigerians? Because juxtaposing that with the fact that right now, people's children are dropping out of schools. A lot of people, in fact, a tricycle rider in my area withdrew his 2 children from school because he could no longer pay school fees. Now they are learning one is learning how to be a mechanic, and the other is learning how to make hair because he could no longer pay school fees. All right? So schools are becoming education, which is one of the development goals, is increasingly out of the reach of the common man. Feeding is increasingly out of the reach of the common man. So what future? If there will be a better future for Nigeria, will Nigerians be alive? Will the generality of Nigerians be alive to benefit? Is this going to be in the next 4 years or when? I think a lot more should be done. A lot more. The president should, if he says, I hear you, I feel your pain, then he should take actions to ensure that he feels the people's pain so that people will know that their pains are being felt.
And also the First Lady that I've been talking, this is not the first time she's talking about this administration and the policies and how Nigerians should please, calm down and, understand the husbands and all the policies that he's putting in place. The other time, she also made a statement about how Nigerians who are traveling abroad should forget about going there to do, according to her, dehumanizing work. Whereas here in Nigeria, we don't have any job to start with. She also championed the farmers program. The Nigerians should go to farms. Are the president's children in farm? That's the first one to ask. Are the president's children, are they going to farm? Is going to farm the next option for Nigerians, for a Nigerian who actually has everything it takes to live above poverty and, the poverty line. But no one is looking at that direction. But she's telling us that we should calm down and policies will work. What policies are we talking about this time around?
You see, Moses said something that is very instructive. He talked about asking the right questions. I think Nigerians should start asking the right questions. The questions that you have asked now, You also realize the fact that everybody mustn't be a farmer, But farming should be more interesting. It should be more productive to the extent that people go into farming, to make something out of it, not as means of as a last resort. Not as a last resort. Farming is a good thing. I mean, when we were kids, we used to have gardens, in our surroundings and all of that. Nothing says we can't do that again. Farming should even be a hobby for some people. You recall a certain governor gave out 2 days of the working week. On those days, go to farm. That was to boost food production and secure Nigerians' food security and all of that. But that is not happening now. Why? Because farming has become some kind of relegated to the background that when you become a farmer, it's like all hope is lost.
Not really. Those people who also have interest in farming also having it difficult this time around. I have two people who went to Kogi State to have this big farmland as a hobby now. They cultivated rice.
Okay.
Guess what happened? The insecurity thing happened. The farm was being destroyed, and up until now, they are yet to recover their money. So even the people who are doing the farm the way it should be, the farming the way it should be taking Moses, they're not even smiling also because insecurity is bedeviling the country. Farmers are not going to farms anymore. And those that want to go to farms are being not, they're not being encouraged. Where is the mechanized equipment that we need to force harvest?
From Brazil and all
that. So these are the questions Nigerians should ask. Well, another question is the conversation around road safety, federal road safety, having guns now. And well, we understand how they're being treated sometimes when they try to impound the vehicle, and the driver or the owner of the vehicle is being stubborn. So they get into exchanging of blows and sometimes maltreated. I understand that. There's a law. There's a law that says if you resist, if you resist, I don't want to say arrest, but if you resist a government official or you raise your hands or your fist against them, you'll be charged to court. Yes. You will have to face the wrath of the law. But having an arm of road safety, carrying guns, I think we should be wary of the laws, the decisions we take in this country. We are still dealing with police officers carrying guns indiscriminately and firing those guns at people, indiscriminately. And now we want to man another agency of government as well, the road safety. What would they be doing with guns, for goodness sake?
Moses, if you ask me, I think the society is...
Shouldn't they have policemen attached to them? Maybe
they are embedded in places where you have soldiers and policemen.
Yes.
They are in between, so that if you escape them, the next checkpoint where you have some meters away where you have either policemen, a police checkpoint, or a military checkpoint, they will alert them and they will stop you. I think arming them, the society is already militarized. Now, coming out to arm road safety men, it's a different thing altogether. The sight of guns are everywhere.
Fact, if that law is gonna,
this is not the first time they have attempted this. Way back sometime in 2016, they tried it and it failed. So I don't know why they are trying to resurrect that bill.
Well, if they resurrect the bill and it's
already passed second reading.
Well, if it's passed into law, then Ned Woko's bill would also have to be
considered,
revisited, where Nigerians that can prove that they are sane enough should be allowed to carry guns. And then we all will just carry guns.
And Nigeria will become a police state.
That's what they want.
The point I want to talk about is the fact that before now I had this story or this, information on merging some organizations or some agencies in Nigeria. We have the VIO already out there. We have the Federal Road Safety Corps. We also have the road maintenance and, a lot. And then I was thinking that it's going to be a case of how to merge the agencies so that FRC and VIO and, other people in charge of the road and transportation can come under one umbrella. So we're talking of, the Federal Road Safety Corps. But let's see how that also pan out.
Oh, well, let's move away from that conversation now. Let's take a little breather and then check out stories that made it to the cover pages of the dailies. Stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.
Thank you so much for staying with us. It's still VOP this morning. Looking at the front pages of the national dailies that made it on our table this morning, We have a whole lot of the national dailies. We have the Daily Independent, the Guardian newspaper, the Daily Trust, the Punch. And I would like to start off from the Punch newspaper this morning. Petrol price hike. Ipman tackles NNPCL, threatens to stop operations. The writers to that story, marketers accuse NNPCL of inflating Dangote petrol price. Neiman continues loading subsidized PMS. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And just beside the masthead, Oyedepo's 2 deputies step down next week. And we have the window headlines on the cover page of the Punch newspaper this morning to be NULGE, that's NULGE, threatens suit over governor's bill to control LG phones. I will take that again for clarity's sake. NULGE threatens suit over governor's bill to control LG phones. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. 7 banks paid 392 billion naira tax. That is according to reports. Fubara heads to Supreme Court as appeal court affirms pro-Wike lawmakers. And that is also part of a major topic of conversation this morning. And we have a pictorial. On this major pictorial, have the governor of Lagos State. And then some of the people, there's a construction going on. We have a construction site too. Sanwo-Olu inspects ongoing 7-story New Mercy Children Hospital. And that's a writer to that pictorial. And beneath that, we have other headlines there to be data, voice services, fetch, MTN, Airtel, 3.6 trillion naira. I'll take that again. Data, voice services, fetch, MTN, Airtel, 3.6 trillion naira. The story is on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Lebanese jail 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. And the last but not the least of the headlines that made it to the cover page of the Punch newspaper this morning reads, why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo? Why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo? And that is from Defense Headquarters. The story is on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. And those are the headlines that made it to the cover page of the Punch newspaper today.
All right, so to the Daily Independent we go. Banner headline there. Signs of anarchy everywhere in Nigeria. PDP BOT wants, asks Tinubu to review policies to check widespread hardship. Nigeria sinking deeper under President Tinubu. CUPP laments. My husband not cause of hardship, says Olurebi Tinubu. And then Appeal Court upholds ruling nullifying Rivers 2024 budget passed by pro-Fubara lawmakers. Again, stakeholders urge INEC to review results of Edo Guba poll. And then we have Tinubu, too much in a haste to exit fuel subsidy. TUC suggests creation of special forex scheme for Dangote refinery. Reps seek tax policy overhaul to ease burden on citizens. Again, court rejects bid to stop Kanu LG elections. Health workers threaten strike, issue 15-day ultimatum to FG. And another bold headline there. Senate says LG elections conducted in violation of democratic tenets. And then the bottom strip. Police rescue kidnapped sports journalist in Anambra. Well, these are the headlines in the Daily Trust. I beg your pardon, the Daily Independent.
Now let's touch on the Guardian newspaper with the banner headline. War against corruption, where anti-graft eagle turns a blind eye to sacred cows. My husband, not greedy, working for better future. That's First Lady Remi Tinubu. Article, CUPP, TUC, others knock Tinubu over handling of fuel subsidy. Shetima, Carlo, Abiodu decry rising population of uneducated kids, urge action. Dundee Military Defense Headquarters warns Asari Dokubo. Reps kick against multiple tax burdens on Nigerians. There's a cartoon there about the eagle and the graft, you know. I think it's all about the major headline.
EFCC trying to gather the grass is moving out.
It's flying away from it. And that's all from the Guardian newspaper.
All right, on the cover page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we have the bold headline to be Ipman tackles NNPCL over new petrol price. Right after that story, says all firm bought product for 899 naira but sells at over 1,000 naira per litre. It will come down, trading arm of National Oil Company. Streets deserted as workers, students trek. Atiku knocks Tinubu Amechi, calls for protest. TUC seeks reversal of hike. And just beneath the nameplate, the window headlines there, Play 2 LG poll turns violent as protesters burn motorcycles. Borno confirms escape of 6 repentant insurgents. Bandits appoint and deposes village heads in my community, and that is coming from a Sokoto LG chair. And we have a pictorial where the roads are empty, and then we have people trekking also by the other side. You know, we have like 3 pictorials there. We have people also who are standing, they're kind of stranded, there's no vehicle to pick them. And beneath that, out-of-school children threat to national security, and that is coming from Shetima, the vice president. Soldiers stab police. I'll take that again. Soldiers stab police inspector to death in Lagos. NFIU raises concern over inflow of weapons from Libya. Appeal court upholds pro-Wike lawmakers as Rivers Speaker voids budget. And those are the headlines that made it to the cover page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And that is also how far we can go on looking at the cover page of the National Dailies for the time being. Just join Chukuma and Moses for the newspaper analysis proper. That's from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., still on Voice of the People television. And we'll have to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be looking at Rivers State having conflicting judgment as court nullifies Rivers budget. Governor Fubara under pressure. Look at this after this quick break. Stay with us.
From the views on the street
we go to bed empty hunger
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills 3 things and makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
right, welcome, and let's delve into the first topic of discussion this morning. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has upheld the Federal High Court's decision to nullify the 800 billion naira budget passed by 5 lawmakers loyal to Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara. The court dismissed Fubara's appeal, stating that it lacked merit, as he withdrew his counter-affidavit in the lower court. Justice Omotosho's ruling nullified the 2024 budget and ordered Fubara to represent the budget to the properly constituted Rivers House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martin Amahule. Additionally, the court barred the governor from interfering with the Assembly's activities and halted the planned demolition of the House of Assembly complex. Oh well, in a related development, the Rivers Elders and Leadership Forum, RIVLEF, has expressed its support for Governor Fubara amid rising political tension in the state. During a press conference, RIVLEF Chairman Chief Rufus Ada George commended Fubara for his peaceful approach to governance despite political provocations. The forum, comprising former national figures, also criticized the lack of admonition against the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, calling on dissenting voices to respect the will of the people from the recent local government elections. We are joined in the studio to make sense of what's happening in Rivers State by Mr. Dele Fanimo. Dele Fanimo is a seasoned reporter and VOP in-house analyst. Dele, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
We also have Barrister Asim Adams, who is a lawyer and social and political commentator. Barrister Asim, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning.
We'll also be joined virtually by Barrister Henry Ekine, who is a legal practitioner, and I believe he's based in Port Harcourt. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Barrister Asim, let me start with you. What is the confusion in Rivers State all about? And you are aware of this judgment. What do you, as a legal mind, what does it portend for Sim Fubara? Because it seems clearly to be under pressure.
Thank you. You see, before now, I just went through my mimeographs and I saw something I did on this before. I said, it was an article I presented to a journal. I said, Rivers crisis, appeal court, upcoming verdict and consequences on Fubara Wike Powers tussle. That was long time before today.
What was your postulation then? That the verdicts would be...
Yes, I didn't say, I see there was danger.
You foresaw it.
That is it. I'm just trying to point out to my mimeograph I wrote. Then look, you can see the note. You can see this note. It's very long.
How long ago?
Good one. It should be at about beginning of the year or thereabouts.
Okay.
When this issue came up. In fact, around last year, because this order started in October 2023. So I now did some bullet points. Let's leave that.
Okay.
Now, what am I saying? I don't want to go into conjectural analysis or maybe begin to dig into sentimental, ululating and serenading facts. But we talk about law. And before I go into this, it was Lord Denny that says that the potency of a court is known by its orders and judgments. And if that is taken out from the judges and the judex, that is the court, then it means that the courts are like toothless bulldogs. And that no matter how frivolous, no matter how repugnant, no matter how sensational a court's decision is, it remains a court decision until set aside. Now look at it. Court of Appeal affirm, that is the Martin Amehule, whatever, the assembly. Court of Appeal judge, you will say the appeal is bereft of merit and hereby dismissed. Judgment of the lower court is hereby affirmed. Cost of 500,000 awarded against the appellant. That is the Excellency Governor, whoever that came. All expenditure done by Rivers State Governor without appropriation of Right Honorable Martin is illegal to the extent of its expenditure. appeal court went further to say that the governor, the appellant governor of Rivers State, treated court orders with disdain. With disdain. I have said all this. He said, you cannot, by way of appeal, seek to revive what has been decided. Because there were 3 judges. The second judge is speaking now. That you cannot revive, by way of appeal, what has been decided. Head is in a here, head is a sham sitting. That's what the appeal court is speaking about. You know, the governor of Rivers State has a passion to disobey court orders, which is unbecoming with someone with good good culture. These are just highlights from the job. Because of time, I don't want to go through too much. Go down there. Okay. Now, what the court has said is a judgment standing, and I'm happy that the Attorney General of Rivers State, even though he tries sentimentalizing, whatever as the case may be, he came with a press conference, said that they are going to, go to the Supreme Court and also file a stay of execution, which is the normal thing that should be done. It is not left for us as analysts to now analyze. But whatever you want to analyze based on this without doing what the AG Rivers has done is just based on sentiments and trying to serenade your opinion and your supporters to sleep. But there is very danger. In other words, the 27 lawmakers, or 25, or how many they are,
that defected.
Forget about defection right now.
I was coming to that.
Yes, forget about defection right now. Whether they defected or they did not defect, that is subject to another court decision we are waiting for. And until and unless that decision comes, we cannot baptismally, summarily, arbitrarily, brazenly say that they defected. Because by virtue of our jurisprudence, court pronouncements are the final, as the case, but they have the right to do that. So let us not go into, but at this particular point in time, I'm trying to, periscope judgment of the Court of Appeal yesterday, or which day was that? Says, present budget, do this, don't demolish their whatever as the case may be. These particular orders or judgment has to be obeyed by all authorities. Be the governor, be and whosoever as the case may be, you must obey it. The only thing is that if you don't want to obey, you can go to the nearest, or go to Supreme Court, as the case may be, appeal against it.
I say you have led the premise of the judgment, how the judgment
absolutely,
came about. The second leg of the question is, what does that portend for Governor Fubara and the people of
It portends danger for the governor.
What kind of danger?
What kind of danger is this? Now, let me just periscope. You have about 3-4 matters, about 3 very cardinal matters for the Court of Appeal. One has been taken care of now. Omoto Shawun has taken care of. There is one that is talking about their defection. I think Supreme Court or an appellate court is going to rule on that in days to come, about their defection. And another one about their defection again. So we have about 3 or more matters that we are waiting for appellate court to rule. But the first leg of the tripod is gone today in favor of the 27. If the second matter comes before the appellate court and they rule so otherwise that this one did not defend the way we are looking at it, there are whatever as case may be, it makes it 2/3. Now, if they got the third appellate court decision in their favor, it then means that the executive government of Rivers State of Fubara, with due respect, is in danger. Not coming to an end. Is in danger. Okay. In the sense that if the 3 or 4 matters that are in appellate courts come in favor of this 27 or 25, as the case may be now, it means that if they win all, let me use the word, they win all of them, then the executive government of the Fubara is in danger in the sense that it means that they can have the premature to sit and do what? Impeach him. Because they are in larger number. Whether they are 25 or 27, as the case may be. I have posited before that while they were waking up this snake, I told them, I said, let us leave, legalists. That if I were to pontificate and like a seer and like a clairvoyant. And if I had a client who came to me as a sorcerer, I will tell Fubara that, look, the Almighty God worked in your favor. That these people defected. Leave this, don't even disturb that matter. Let it be in this particular state. But the moment you challenge and court affirm that they didn't defect properly, you are going to be in problem. Because if not for their defection, for instance, or open and close defection, they had majority. They're assuming these people were still in PDP and they did not defend the House of Assembly, and 27 of them are against you. Is it not impeachment for you automatically?
No, I would like to get...
So, looking at it from the religious angle, now God help him.
All right, now.
To this extent.
Mr. Dele, let me bring you into this conversation.
Okay.
Our electoral act was clear. When you cross carpet, you lose your seat. And then I want to ask you now, like, what does he relate to for people?
Wait, just hold on.
These people These people live on television now. They also sang on the mandate that they'd stand on. They moved. They openly said this, how they are no longer with these people, how they move away, and then they also sang on the mandate they also stand. Do we really need all these court affirmation or this court judgment for us to know where they stand, as the case may be now?
Of course, you need the adjudication of the judiciary to determine if you are right or wrong, especially when there is a dispute over your action or inaction. So to that extent, I think this is the most plausible way to go when issues like this come up. That's one. Then two, on the surface, we might assume that they defected wrongly. But part of the electoral law says, if there is crisis and there is a faction in your existing political party, you have the right to move to another party. And are you part of the legislators to determine if there was no faction when they defected? So that predisposes the fact that they may have studied the electoral law and also made sure that their defection cannot be questioned before they took that step. And I'm sure they have people that are advising them, legal people that are advising them on what step to take. And this is what is culminating in this judgment. And I am of the opinion that with this first leg, according to Barrister Adams, there is likely to be a multiple effect over the other two cases that are pending in the appeal court. And whatever happens, the truth about it is, like Barrister Adams said, is that there is present danger in Rivers State.
Where does that leave a state assembly that now speak through the both sides of their mouth? Because they actually sang a song and said, we are leaving this political party. They sang on the Monday they stood. And now they're coming back again. Is it more like they don't really, is it they don't know or have a clear vision of where they are going as politicians in River State before they made the statement they made on live television?
You see, let me tell you, whatever is said on television, and I think Barrister Adam can affirm or otherwise, is not a strong evidence when you go to the court of law. You can reprobate given the circumstance of that statement.
When you're not under duress.
How did you know that somebody is not under duress?
All right then.
You only watched it. How did you know? The question is, beyond these rhetorics, I think what should bother us here is how to save River State, how to bring governance back to River State.
Before we come to saving the state, it's not up to us here to save the state. It's up to the players.
Well, we can as well advise here.
Anarchism
like we have been doing.
I wanted to...
Yes, go ahead and respond to the question.
I said, there's my friend Ruth has said, there is anarchism and anarchy in River State right now. This morning, after speaking with him, he said there is anarchism and anarchy in River State. Whatever that means, I don't know, but on the comic side of it. But let me say with your respect, when they say defection, it is I've argued on this. I said, see, if I argue, don't hate me because I'm not towing your line of argument. The only way our jurisprudence in Nigeria can deepen is when we have issues of this nature. For instance, jurisprudence is deepening in the area of local government autonomy. Does the Supreme Court or AG have the power to go? You see, these are things we want to make our law and the democracy we practice robust. Now, let me give for an example. And this is an old saying I've been saying. And I'm very happy today that the AG River State, Attorney General River State, in his press statement released, I have it on social media, I read it this morning. He said that the 27 lawmakers are no longer lawmakers by operation of law. Open and close. Operation of law is a phrase. When you say operation of law, what does that mean? By law, they are no longer members. I now said that he has to go and look at the authorities that the Supreme Court and courts outside Nigeria's jurisdiction, Commonwealth, have interpreted what operation of law means before he can make that assertion. Now, operation of law in tenancy agreement, for instance, I own a house. The tenant who occupies my bedroom or my 3-bedroom apartment has been owing me rent for 3 years. But I cannot go there and break the door and throw his things out. By operation of law, the tenant ceases to be my what? My tenant. That is what the law says. And now becomes a tenant at will, is it not so? The law now came and said, but I can't go there since you are not paying, and I now break your door and throw your things out. The court will ask me question, what did I take what? Law is it on my hand. Now what do? I either go to the court to tell the court that the man has been staying over operation of law, his tenancy has expired. But he's been there, court, please help me. Let him go out of my house. So give me 7 days, give me these notices, give me this. If the man does not come, then we follow the procedure. It is only then when I get the order that operation of law can come into effect.
Interesting analogy now. So now
I don't even understand.
Yes.
So now referring to this now.
Yes.
When you say that, yes,
they have ceased to be.
They cease to be. I am saying that the war, because they are saying that it's self-executory. That is section 109 sub 1G and even section 68 sub 1G of the 1999 is self-executory. That has been the argument that we have been having. Now, in assuming so, without consider, I don't let even consider this is position as case may be. Recently, I discovered that self-executorial, discretion or automatic revelation is subjective. Why do I say so? About 5 days ago, a man from Labour Party crossed over to, what is it called, from Labour Party to APC in the House of Reps, where the fabled and revered Ugo Chinyere is. A man in under his nose, cross-carpet, I will use the word, to APC. The speaker of the House of Reps read the letter and said the man he is now welcoming into the fold of APC. He used his discretion subjectively. But in Kebbi State, about 30 people still cross-carpeted because they got to the party of the speaker. He never, the self-executory role of that section 68 sub-1G did not take effect. They are still members of the House of Assembly and House of Reps today, respectively. So now, that particular interpretation now has that discretion, and to make it mandatorily self-executory has now become subjective in Nigeria. What I will now refer to as a notorious fact. Now, in this instance, you have said by operation of law, no problem. Does that foreclose me from approaching the court to say that my right has been breached by making my defection self-executory? I have the right to approach the court. So when you say that the courts cannot do anything about it, I laugh. Under section 46 sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution, the moment I feel that my right is being breached in any manner at all, I have the right to approach the nearest federal high court.
Very Adams,
and do whatever.
You are speaking a lot of legal jargon.
Yes,
we want you to make sense of for Nigerians to understand.
Okay, for Nigerians to understand.
I'm not a lawyer, but I also understand that there is something called circumstantial evidence.
Let me talk about facts.
The circumstantial evidence, and it's admissible in law. apart from these people, like Fina said, chanting on this mandate to stand, we also heard Tony Okocha, the chairman of APC in Rivers State, clearly state on national TV
that they
these people now belong to APC.
To us. Let me tell you, let me leave legalese and law jargons.
Okay.
If I look at like a layman walking on the street with a walking stick at my age, and I heard that kind of thing, I say, oh, you've left, no problem. Oh, you can come back and say you didn't leave. What do I do on the line? That will be on my moral code. I will look at you that you are a rubbish man. No, I'm sort of using that word, open and close. That it lacks integrity and morality. And morality and law are almost
incongruent.
So on moral grounds, since we are all moralists, even Plato said that the morals of the church does not even affect the doings what happened in society, and that is true. Okay. You understand? So on moral grounds, Tony Okocha and 27 people, for me, they should be buried alive right now. On moral ground. But on the legal aspect of it, if the man says I didn't do that, even in a criminal jurisprudence, when you say I am guilty in court, and you stand up, you can say I am not guilty, or when you say I am not guilty, they force me to say I'm guilty. They will do a court trial within trial. They will not say, no, you have said it. Since you have said it, it was recorded, you must follow this thing. These are the principles I'm looking at as a layman.
So now at this point,
so in this case now, let me tell you, the political side is now overweighing the legal, side.
I was going to come to the political side of things. To the political side. Sorry, I have to stay with you on this.
Oh, okay, sorry.
To the political side of things now. Tinubu's involvement, the president's involvement. We are hearing that the governor shot himself in the foot by withdrawing his own cases at the courts, and he did that on the premise of the president's involvement.
Peace accord.
What do you make of that involvement? Is that an aberration? What do you make of that involvement? Is that something that can be tendered when he takes it to the Supreme Court? That based on this, actions were taken.
It was Femi Falana, another respected senior advocate that said that the particular agreement or whatever reached by the president that is null and void. Because under our laws, the president does not have the premature authority to even call any governor to say, let me settle what is happening. It's on record. And a lot of lawyers who are on the same side said the president cannot do that.
What do you say?
But the thing is that I said, in my own little opinion, I said the president can do that politically, even though there is no clear listing in the Constitution. But there are political resolutions of issues. When a part of the country is burning, the president will also, because it's not my state party or whatever it is, as a father of the nation politically, he can call the two warring parties and say, please, can we settle this thing as case may be? But they said it does not have the premature. Now, at the end of the day, I argued on this, and I found out that the reason why I still respect him today, even though I don't support his political whatever, I respect the man as a governor, as a peacemaker, is that similarly Fubara is a peace-loving man. If not for these people by his side, the man went to that. Did he call this in a year when he was going to meet the president? Did he call all the stakeholders and people around him at that time? He only went there with two people, Dilly and one other, David Briggs or whatever the case may be. And it was because they were in Abuja. So this man wanted peace in Rivers State and said, look, I'm tired of all this, whatever. Let me just get peace. He now went, he signed. When he signed that particular thing, I said, no, I'm not sure the governor signed this thing, willy-willy. As I was on radio talking, breaking news, the man under the Commissioner for Information of Rivers State, Joe Johnson, came out and said the signature on that particular agreement is that of my principal, Similaye Fubara. And in the evening of that particular day, Similaye Fubara held a press conference to say that particular signature is his own signature and that he was not coerced. He didn't sign on that duress, that he wants peace to reign. I look at this one and say, oh my God, this man must, even though these things as we say, I say this man must be a peace-loving man. You understand? But some things now happen 2-3 days after. People I regarded as the Philistine carpetbaggers in Rivers State Ikwere language, we call them Ori crisis. Ori crisis. You know, those who are listening from Rivers State will understand. Ori crisis. There are those, where there's no crisis, they don't benefit. They were former supporters of Yeso Wike. They now saw that the man has gone to Abuja, the box of money will not be too much again. They now shifted to what is happening. And they have been in this Rivers crisis from 1999 till date. All the figures, all the names, they are still there. They now said, why will you go and say that kind of a thing?
So are you insinuating that there are individuals within the
Yes.
state that want the crisis
They
to
want the
continue?
crisis to remain. That is, those people now say, why should you go and sign it? See him now look at himself and say, I didn't say, no, you cannot do that. Before you know, they started protesting, they started holding a solidarity rally to go and convince the man. And in law, you cannot appropriate and reprobate. Do you understand the point now? And when that thing now happened, I sat and I said, oh, crisis, they come. Oh. I advise, I said, allow this man, even if it's just for 1 year or 2 years, they let him arrange his political machinery in a way that he can fight the battle. They said, no, he must do that now. Civil society organizations, some of my friends who were in the civil society organizations who said they are political, jumped into the arena and became, whatever the case may be.
So you think Fubara's reaction is too swift?
Not too swift. He has done it already. From his conscience, what we call Nkuruga, he has done, that is, Fubara wants peace. He wants peace. And there was, I wouldn't know how to put this by a philosopher.
I would like you to land on Moses' question regarding the role of the president. Was it a willing landmine laid on Fubara's part by the president by asking him to withdraw that counter affidavit?
No, see, the president.
Because that is likely what that is.
He told the president told that part of the agreement. What's it called? Terms of the agreement.
The other party did not.
Guys, I'm coming there, sir. He said that you withdraw your this one withdraw, this one withdraw. Yeah. But you see what now happened. That is where politics now come in. But there are political hawks. I'm telling you that there are those who don't want peace in River State. So when they saw this thing happen, they now cleverly went. Do you understand the point now? To go and advise don't withdraw your own, because they already have experience. They are ready for battle. Say, don't withdraw your own.
But they withdrew impeachment.
And yes, they now say, we are withdrawing impeachment. We are not going to do that. So we are satisfied in this thing. But they were looking at the future. So they now had to say, don't withdraw. Some experienced lawyers, yes, okay, made a statement the other day and said, people were laughing at it, said, no, that when you have good lawyers, you win your cases in court. When you have bad lawyers, you lose and you need to complain. And some good lawyers now came to advise. If I were to be working for Fubara at that time and his group, I would say, okay, since we have agreed, let us enter into terms of a settlement. Let the court, we now present this before the judge and say, because of the intervention of Mr. President, I think we have to settle this matter out of court. Let the two parties, the court will grant you to go and do that. Then you now do what they call terms for settlement. You now bring it for adoption in court. Then the court will now do what they call consent judgment. If they had done that, they will now hold this today and be waiving it. I don't know if you understand. They will hold it today and be waiting and say, yes, we withdrew. So court of appeal, your district has no ground. They can even present it. In this appeal, I said, this is the reason why we had the judgment from the lower court that gave us a consent judgment and whatever the case may be. So, and it's valid, as the case may be. But politically, they were not experienced, or let me use the word, or they didn't have good lawyers. Two was this. People who were working with him at that time were all like the AG of a River State was the AG that resigned and came back and now was dismissed or sacked.
He walked away because he said
he walked away.
Yeah.
So the AG that did that was supposed to advise the government, was it all on the side of yes or wicked? I don't know if you understand the point. And a similar thing is happening now, finally on this, so that I can give space for people to talk. You see, the similar thing is happening. I'm still advising the Rivers State government. See, when you are a son or a professor of law, I respect people, but for those of us who are Lilliputians, we are doodlebugs, as they call Lilliputian doodlebugs. That is what we are. We don't know. We are just small. We are small where people are. There are things I want you. Son, prof, please, you don't know everything. If you know the law, you don't know the street knowledge. So what I want to do is this. When you have issues, consult 1 or 2 persons. Not your people that follow you. A good example now, let me tell you. Do you know that this election now, that they did in Rivers State, matters are coming up. A similar thing like this will happen. There's a simple thing the age ought to do now, but they are not doing it. They are playing politics.
So the elections might be null and void.
And I'm not saying that I say matters are coming.
Might.
I say matters are coming.
Matters are coming.
Matters are coming. We are still coming here to debate it. Like I prophesied that this is going to happen. And I told them a very simple thing they would have done. 3 or 2, you the AG that came with a press release. Why did you even appeal this particular matter? Why did you appeal it? Are you not aware that when you don't withdraw your this thing already, what is the appellate court going to act on? When you have already withdrawn your whatever, what do you want to? It is elementary for you to know. 2, why appeal this? And why bring this to prominence? What about the case affecting the defection? Because you are going to Supreme Court again now. Supreme Court will return this verdict. I'm asking the age of Rivers State, what about the case that talks about the defection of the 27 lawmakers? Why have you not brought it to prominence? If you lost to the same Justice Court or the other court, why no appeal? Why have you not gone in there now to bring your brilliant submission now to bring that matter to the fore and say, look, my Lord, the reason why I'm bringing this because I want court to give this accelerated hearing. Why? Because it's distorting and disturbing all of us here. Because if you decide on this, my Lord, issues like what happened yesterday in the appeal call or whatever, I don't think we come up and begin to disturb the polity. Now, that particular matter now, I want, please, give it prominence. But they allow that one to lie low now. They are to lie low. They are pursuing this one that is there. So these are the advice.
Barrister Adam, so much legality here and there.
Yes.
Let me stay with you finally before I come to Mr. Fanimo. Now the court said Governor represents the 2024 budget to the Martin Amewule House of Assembly. Now the question is, the budget is fast spent. I think we should even be talking about 2025 budget. So what happens now that the governor has actually spent those monies, approved by the assembly that is seemingly illegal now? Does it constitute impeachable offense because the governor has spent the money ahead of time?
Or is it a jail term?
To the 27 lawmakers, it constitutes. You understand? To the 27 lawmakers, it does constitute. All things being equal, yes, it does constitute. It means that by this, forget about sentiment, that by the judgment of the court, it means that what the governor did for those periods, that it was null and void, ab initio. So now what now happens is this, it now becomes an academic moot point. The governor now, is it to refund the money or to go and look for the money and bring back to the state? I take you back to the Omeya case. Rivers State is a state of mechanical confusion. You see, you go to Omeya, we came and remove Omeya as ex-governor. I don't know if you know about that matter at that time. He removed and said he has to pay the money that whatever that accrued to him. Celeste Omeya went to court and said, my Lord, please, I won't refund anything. I didn't ask you to make me obviously with an ex-governor or whatever. Court became confused and the matter they said, okay, please go and resolve. So now you make that you should bring back. Politically speaking, this man, Fubara, will not. In America now, we say, okay, but Nigeria, the man I know will not. Even if he wants to go and
do it. He will not do what?
He will not go and represent it. he will not go and represent.
And if
Is he not going
if
against
he
the court
does, will
order?
he not be affirming the legality
That is
of
what I'm saying. That he will not go and, even if he wants to go and do it secretly in the night, there are those who are monitoring him for 24 hours to make sure if he's moving towards Wike side, they will slap him and bring him back to prison. Don't go to that side.
All right,
so
then.
those things, those kind of the people, the Philistine carpetbaggers who don't want this thing to go on, are the ones that will say, please don't do that. Or if you do that, you are going to have a problem. They say they are going to Supreme Court. The most vexatious and the factical side, he said, AG said they are going to Supreme Court to do what? That is the question I'm asking. I said today, I told one of them, I said, he's only going there to, buy time, then create a political semblance where they'll be easy to campaign. But that is not my issue now, Mr. AG. What should be your issue now? Is that those that are please surrounding because if you sweep off the defection matter and the appellate court makes a decision on the defection of this 27, they will not have what they call local standard to begin to go to any court. Court will say you don't have a local standard. Based on the judgment of that defection, etc., as the case may be, any suit they bring will be nullified. So what are you waiting for?
Okay.
Okay, no, Mr. Fanimo, let's also get your own thoughts. The court have said theirs, but the River State Assembly, we have the elders, River State Elders and Leadership Forum, they also expressed their support for Fubara, saying that they are going to stand with him against what the court is talking about. Now, what do you think this will bring in River State? The people happen to support the governor,
as it is
not
today,
the court.
it's even dangerous for anybody to work against the 27 lawmakers, because you are trying to embolden them and you are trying to make them recalcitrant, because the odds are against the governor as we speak now, based on the judgment of the appeal court. And until that judgment is vacated, these guys, you see, forget about the street razzmatazz. The future of Fubara as governor of River State lies in the hands of these 27 lawmakers. And it's not going to be a street matter. It's going to be determined in the hallowed chambers of that state assembly. So the only thing that will make Fubara stay longer than when these guys will want to remove him is to foment trouble in River State and ensure that these 27 lawmakers don't have opportunity of sitting. Otherwise, so those people that are showing support for Fubara against the 27 lawmakers, they are not helping Fubara at all.
We're talking about the people of the state.
That's what I'm saying.
Supporting, now, the government of the state should be for the people. Fubara said he has the people of the River State.
So the House of Assembly
now the people of the River State are also
state.
throwing their support. We're talking about a faction, a little.
No, I'm asking you.
Out of the millions
the
of have
state
the River
assembly
State.
not part of the state?
Do you think that the words of just the 25 persons who happens to be members of the state assembly will supersede that of a million of people that we have?
Do you know that constituents surrendered their sovereignty for these legislators? So by implication, these legislators represent the whole state as their constituency. So what I'm saying is, it is better to do political correctness in this matter.
Talking about violence and the things that have been perpetrated in River State in recent time. The other day, we saw Asarido Kubo talking about helicopters hovering around his house, and he threatened that he has the capacity to shoot down these helicopters that belong to the Nigerian army. He said he was going to shoot them down, and then he made a statement. He said, Nigeria will not surrender to Wike, alluding to the fact that these are Wike's military. But we know that this is the Nigerian army.
You see, we tolerate a lot of shenanigans in this country.
Shenanigans, that's what you call it?
Yes.
Is that not an open allegation that an individual is using?
No, that's why I said we tolerate shenanigans in this country. How could somebody, a non-state actor, claim that he has rocket launcher? Because that's the only weapon you can use to bring down a helicopter. And he says he has it. Whereas the law says, thank God Barrister is there, that even the smallest of arm which is the PSU. You cannot own a PSU without the approval of NSA, National Security Advisor.
Are you ignoring the fact that
you know that it is illegal to even own a firearm apart from
that's
the
gun? Point I'm driving at.
Yes.
The fact that the minister of the FCT's name was mentioned in all of this as the one encouraging the military, Nigeria's military, to hover around. And we also saw the activities of the police before the local government elections.
Asari Dokubo may say anything because he's also involved indirectly in the politics of Rivers State. You know? So, but what we are saying is that statement from Asari is, I don't know how to describe it, is just too much for a non-state actor to threaten Nigerian military that he has the capacity to bring down a jet, a fighter jet, or an helicopter, you know. And the first thing they should have done is to set the military intelligence against him and bring him to book. Because he has to explain how he came about this armament in his custody. That's what I'm saying. Ordinarily, the only gun you are allowed to carry in this country, according to the law, is the Dane gun. Even if you have a single barrel automatic rifle, you must have a license. And I don't see a national security advisor approving even AK-47, not to talk of a rocket launcher. So, Asani Dokubo should have been arrested by now and made to explain, and his house, they should have gotten a warrant of arrest and then warrant to search his premises.
All right then. Okay. Let me come back to you, Barrister. One question. It's not focused on Rivers State per se, even though that's what we're talking about. But I know I've asked this earlier, but I just want to get clarity, and I will appreciate if you make it as simple as possible for the ordinary man to understand. Can a political solution to disputes hold sway in court? Of course it can.
My answer is yes.
Okay.
My answer is yes, because the court, you see, it is we that label matters political matter. What is before a court is a suit. You understand? What is before a court is a suit. That's why you have parties. If you see the headings of the court processes, the writs, they don't headline it political matter. They'll say Wike versus Fubara. Suit number this before the High Court. Then your facts in the affidavits are the things that will not make it look political that we look at. The problem we have in Nigeria, which I have said, and why we have this political hierarchy in Nigeria, and why we have these conundrums all over the place, why politics is all about do or die governance. A man has 4 years to govern, he's been battling whatever for 2 years, remaining 2 years he has not governed. Then it becomes something that is medieval and an aberration. Now let me tell you why. The reason why we are fighting like this and we're able discussing this is because of the fact that politicians, many of them in Nigeria, do not have integrity and honor. Any of them looking at me on this domain should know. Many of them, I didn't say all of you, many of you lack integrity and honor. Now, what am I trying to say? The reason why you run to court when they deny you the party ticket, what are you looking for? You run to court to go and say, my party denied me. Supreme Court said, party is internal affairs. Go and settle all those things. Why should you still go to court?
And why is it that the court still accepts them when they come to court?
Because the court, until the law establishing the court and the procedure, what we call practice direction, now exclude all these matters, then the judges will still be taking them. Why? They said any motion brought before a court at all, no matter how frivolous, once the registrar has appended his signature and put his stamp, he shifts it to the CJ who will now assign. You cannot determine the merit of that particular case at the registry. So if and unless we now say the registrars should determine the merits and the merits of the case before they pass to judge, then we may have sanity. But the law has to be amended to have that kind of thing happen. Okay. I've asked this question, why is it that in Britain, in Germany, in America that we copy every day, we run to America, why is it that they don't go, and I never seen they say they refuse me participating in the Republican election, whatever, so I'm going to Supreme Court. Why are they not doing it? Is it that the law forbids them from doing that?
All right.
So now coming to your question, like you rightly said, if you look at what is happening in Rivers State today, I pray that it will not snowball into anarchy and anomy. You know why? Because Plato said that when people always perceive that there's injustice done to them, then anarchy now becomes the way to get justice.
So you think, according to
let
what
it,
Tony,
please, it shouldn't happen.
you think in the words of Tony, Coali says that the likes of Odili and then Amechi and Wike and Fubara should be called to a roundtable discussion. You think that will actually help to curb this?
Very good. See, we have proposed that, even amongst my friends, I've lost a lot of friends. I asked the other day, even one of them that was supposed to be a very good friend of mine, we appear on television together because I hold a different opinion. He just hated me. I saw him somewhere and said, please go. You're a wicked man. I said, who told you I'm a wicked man? Even I'm a wicked man. I have the right. But that is to tell you how the thing has become internecine. You understand? So what am I trying to say is this. Look at, see, I'm worried from 1999 to date. Rivers State, successor, predecessor problem. Successor, that is predecessor, successor problem. 1999, it was all Dili and Amechi. All Dili fought Amechi to a standstill. People lost life. People like Dicky, Boiti Sin, Harry Masha, who they heard about them, their lives were taken. All Dili now, he and Amechi had problem. Amechi now came in, became governor. Before you know, his chief of staff, Wike became, and the daggers drawn with him. Again, what is the problem? They fought till a commissioner of police made the convoy of Rivers State Governor Amechi, and he blocked and said the man cannot pass, go and pass the other route. CP. And we said it was federal. That was, Amechi came close court for 1 year. Local governments were bombed, etc. as case may be. House of Assembly also was bombed. Then from Amechi to Wike, to Amechi to Wike now, problem. The Wike now to Fubara. So, I have told them that Rivers State has the syndrome of Sisyphus. The Sisyphean syndrome,
Barrister Sim.
Maybe they need a man to exorcise, the political genie.
All right.
That is disturbing Rivers State.
This will be. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a personal question, please?
Yes.
I hope you don't mind.
Of course, I'll be glad.
I understand that you have a personal relationship with Nyesom Wike, is that right?
A personal relationship. I don't have a personal relationship with Wike. I've never met Wike. I've never gone close to Wike like this. Right. Apart from when he was campaigning, the first time I wanted to be governor, I met him in a friend's house.
It's fine. It's fine. I wanted to know if you understand his disposition clearly, and that in the light of what is happening, if Fubara goes to him and like he has been going to say,
on that basis,
do you think he will accept?
On that particular basis, even though I have not been close to, I don't know him in person or whatever, but I have associates who know him, and two, I sympathize with him. Let me be very open. Because 2022, 2023, if I leave the studio, I'm going to show you something. I was among those who were against him and Fubara, and I almost lost my life in Rivers State. But God was so kind. No problem with that. So
why do you sympathize with him?
Good. The reason why I do that is this. I hate people who betray.
Okay.
And now,
but he also
tomorrow. Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm coming. His betrayal. Okay, once again, maybe our studio will discuss that. Because if you read the book of what's it called? Dante Alighieri. That is Dante's Inferno. Yeah. If you read Dante's Inferno, he said, devil or demon choose on the cord of betrayal. That is why you see, if you betray that, you get your way. When somebody will betray you.
So you think Kama is playing out?
They keep betraying each other.
All right. And
that's
that's a good way.
Well, let's move on. Unfortunately, we'll conclude that conversation.
Yes, you know, I love River State discourse with when I was there, people were trying to reach me in Lagos, say, come back. They say,
We'll talk about this.
My family is there. I don't want to eat that will go unaffected.
Well, let's talk about another issue that affects the generality of Nigerians now, the issue of fuel, availability of it. Fuel marketers are, on the rampage, basically, in quote now, on the rampage, as civil society groups also are crying out as marketers are unable to purchase fuel from Dangote refinery. Let's talk about this one when we come back.
Thank you so much for staying with us. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has accused the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, of withholding products or refunds after recent payment for petrol at old rates. IPMAN's president, Abubakar Garima, expressed frustration over NNPCL's demands for extra payment despite acquiring petrol at lower rates from Dangote refinery. The cost of petrol surged, reaching over 1,013 naira per litre in Abuja, sparking nationwide concern among petroleum retailers and the public. In a related story, the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet and Owners Association of Nigeria, Petrons, has raised concerns about the unclear pricing from Dangote refinery, which has led to market instability. Petron President Billy Gills Harris urged the refinery to engage directly with retailers to address price volatility and maintain transparency, especially with fuel prices escalating by 150 naira per litre within days. The situation has drawn the ire of civil groups such as the #EndBadGovernance movement, which condemned the fuel price hike as an affront to struggling Nigerians. In their statement, they called for immediate action against the government's economic policies, citing increased hardship faced by ordinary citizens. Additionally, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's way of handling of the subsidy removal, stating that the policy has worsened the economic challenges and pushed fuel prices beyond reach for many Nigerians. And we still have with us in the studio Mr. Dele Fanimo and Barrister Asim Adams. They will help us to make sense of this conversation. I would like to start with you, Mr. Dele Fanimo. We have the fuel pump price still increasing, and then we have NNPCL's hands still that are dictating how much price will be sold, even when they say they are no longer the sole off-taker from Dangote refinery, giving way for IPMAN and other people who are interested to purchase this fuel. What do you really make of this? And what does this portend for Nigerians that are suffering economic hardship at this point in time?
As it is today, Nigerians suffer double jeopardy. One, there is steep increase in the pump price of petrol. Two, you can't even get to buy.
2 times in 2 months.
So it's a double suffering for Nigerians. And nobody is insulated from this as we speak. So that's how bad it is. Secondly, I've always said this, and it's becoming like a broken record. Dangote is not ready for us as we speak. And so all these things that they are throwing up is just to buy time for him. If you are saying, look at the chain of events in the last 4 months over rolling out petrol for consumers. Today, NNPC is saying they want to have a shed in Dangote refinery. They are fighting over that. tomorrow we are rolling out in 24 hours and 48 hours. Another day, when it's about time to have the petrol, according to their promise, they will say September 15. September 15 is almost a month away since they promised that. It has not happened. Now, they are busy increasing the price, and you cannot get to buy. If you have 86 gantries in Dangote refinery, what that means is that with the technology deployed in that refinery, which means 86 trucks can load in 3 minutes simultaneously. And if you throw 45,000 liters, the minimum you have in a tanker of fuel is 33,000 liters. And you have some that are 45. Let's assume 33,000 times 86. Just one rollout in 3 minutes.
Mr. Fanimo, do you think it's an issue of availability or pricing?
It's availability. That's the truth.
No.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. They started the barrel for dollar about 3 days ago.
For Naira.
For Naira.
I mean, for Naira.
Yes, crude for Naira.
Yes. They started it, which was even behind schedule. It was supposed to be October 1st.
Yeah.
Now they are rolling it out, according to them, almost 7 days after the promised date.
Yes.
And that has been about 3 days now. Have you seen the impact of this rollout?
Now, that same day that the Naira for crude or crude
And
for
the
Naira
increase-
started was the day the president said oil sector fully
deregulated.
Deregulated.
And
what
what has
that-
come out to fix his price.
What that means,
So what is the issue?
what that means, if you listen to reports this morning, the question now is, disclose how much you are selling to NNPC. And the graphs of these marketers,
No,
Well,
but
that
NNPC
has
has
to
come
do-
out to say
that's-
we are not the sole off-taker of Dangote fuel. Others can go to
up till
drive
now,
into the refinery and buy.
Ipman is still claiming that NNPC has a firm grip over
All right, now
oil
let me-
in that place.
may I-
in Dangote.
may I interrupt? May I interject? I beg your pardon. At this point, yes, Nigerians have been asking the question to know how much NNPCL is buying from Dangote refinery, but Ipman has also revealed that NNPCL is buying for less than 900 naira
898.
a liter,
Yeah.
and they are selling to them at almost 1,000 naira. And what that means is they will have to now sell to Nigerians for a lot
course.
more higher.
Of course, they have to
than
make
that.
profit.
Of course. Now, but you're talking about availability. For them to be having this conversation, that means fuel is available.
Yeah.
Basically. But some days back, we talked about NNPCL closing its portal. Marketers had paid money up front for the purchase of PMS. But NNPCL closed its portal just before the increase of the pump price. Now, when the portal was reopened, the new price is what NNPCL is asking the marketers to come and buy for. All right? So now the marketers are saying that, look, let us buy from Dangote refinery directly. But they cannot do that. What do you think the president, who stands as the Minister of Aviation, what do you think the president
Of
should
petroleum.
do? Of petroleum, I beg your pardon. Did I say aviation?
Aviation.
Okay, petroleum.
Maybe you are very close to Kayamo.
Maybe because you were thinking that the president is in UK.
He is in UK. He is in UK. He's having fun. He's having fun. All right, so what do you think the president should do at this time to ensure that the purchasing of fuel is made seamless?
Now, let's talk about the marketers that have been denied access.
Yeah.
NNPCL deliberately closed its portal.
Deliberately.
You understand? And that chalice they have been feeding us with, these retailers, is what NNPC is feeding them with now. They are now complaining. If you know, if you study closely, you will know that once there is any rumor that there will be price increase, marketers will close their stations, waiting for the new price. And the next minute, even the last car before that announcement, will be the only beneficiary of the old price. And the new price will be affected immediately. But if there is a downward review of pump price, they will tell you they have not gotten letters. You will have to wait for letters in 1 week or two.
So basically, they are being served their own drop.
They've been selfish all the years. So if they,
that's not a justification for Nigerians.
Wait, what I'm trying to say, why that portal was closed is what I'm trying to explain to you. You understand? They don't want a deluge of payment into that portal, and with the excuse that they are paying the old rate for the new price. That's why NNPCL closed its portal.
Okay.
Now, if you are saying president should intervene, how does the president intervene when he has announced to you that he has deregulated the sector and that the market force determines how the place runs?
So he's the minister of
that
petroleum.
conversation is still up for debate.
No,
energy in any country should not be.
We will be here to condemn
like
the president.
Okay.
Let's not be emotional about it.
No, we are not.
If we say the petroleum sector, the downstream sector had been totally deregulated, that means he has no hand in the modulation of pricing in that sector.
All right, interesting. Let me come to the barrister now. Saying the president has no hand is a very dicey statement for me, because the president has revealed his involvement in the oil sector with the purchase by O&O of Ajip and also OVH, O&O, OVH, Ajip, purchase of NNPC retail outlets. And right now, what we see is a situation whereby NNPCL, who initially said it was the sole off-taker, after much outcry, has said, okay, it will not be the sole off-taker anymore. But as it stands, whether or not NNPCL is the sole off-taker, marketers don't have access to the product. And marketers are still dependent on NNPCL. And if NNPCL is the sole supplier, that means Nigerians will have to go to NNPCL retail outlets, which of course belongs to OVH, which of course is linked to the president. What do you make of all of this?
Well, I'm not a scientist. I just try to make some conjectural periscoping of issues. Now look at one thing I find out is this. When incompetence reigns supreme, excuses becomes the mother of the day. I don't know how they produce Indomie. I don't even know how they produce biscuit. I have not been there.
Noodles.
Noodles, sorry, noodles. I don't think. Oh, sorry I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I don't know how they produce noodles. I don't know how they produce biscuits I eat. But I go, I pick. If I have the money, I pick, I go my way. That is the way we Nigerians, who are not, those at the helm of affairs, or how things should operate. So when a president or a particular body comes to begin to explain to us, some of us will just go asleep. We'll be sleeping and we say, "Are you done?" Say, "Yes." Where is the food? There's no fuel. That is the situation. Now let me say with due respect, Margaret Thatcher, one time Iron Lady, as they refer to her in UK, said because there is deregulation in the oil industry in the whole of UK, Scotland, etc., as the case may be, does not mean that the government cannot or should not regulate and watch how they deregulate. But in Nigeria here, when you just float, you allow them to decide prices at their whims and caprices. This is the kind of thing that we are going to get. I hope that those who were the prophets who came in August and said that, mark my words, that by December of this year, petroleum price per liter will be 2,500 naira per liter. I hope their own words will not come to pass by December, because it's nearing that 2,500 per liter now, 1,030 naira. Maybe next week will be 1,080 naira. The same thing with the dollar to naira exchange rate, as the case may be. Look at one of these people who normally appear on one of the international television programs on economic and whatever, describe Nigeria's problems. That no matter the jargon people want to say, said Nigeria practices expansionary monetary and fiscal policy that is backward, medieval. 2, naira depreciation and removal of subsidies on refined products, that is petrol. The 4th one he listed, which I remember now, he said Nigeria is the only economy in the laissez-faire world that has seen is working on deregulation, removal of subsidy, naira depreciation, etc., and hike in tariffs, hike in petroleum, electricity bill. Then Nigeria is the only nation that he has seen that happen. What manner of economics are we operating?
You know, that brings me to my next question, which I wanted to ask, because the same petrol product that we have in Nigeria is what UAE, that's United Arab Emirates, has. Why would Nigeria take out their subsidy? Why is it? But other people who have these petroleum products are enjoying other incentives, free education, free medical health. Even some people are taking allowances in their own place. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case.
The problem is with the corruption in our leadership, cadre. See, the New York Times made it very, very bold and said that Nigeria is also a country where the individuals and citizens provide for those in government instead of those in government for them to provide for them. That the vice versa is what happens. So the economy will not work. Then people go down. Because I don't know why I always love talking about law. Maybe because if you read section 16 of the Nigerian economic policy of government, if we were to be practicing parliamentary system of government by now, this government should have resigned, and a flash election would have been called.
How possible do you think that would be?
If we were practicing,
when the first lady said that the hardship Nigerians are passing through shouldn't be blamed on the husband, that he's not, his policies are in good terms, so no one should talk about or pin him to the hardship Nigerians
because we practice presidential system. So the method of taking out is. But the parliamentary system, I'm telling you that when the economic policies are failed, the government will throw in the towel and a flash election is done, and that prime minister, whoever comes in. But as it is, failure of government policies has caused all this thing. How come that section 16 says you should not allow monopoly? The monopoly now that is coming now is the petroleum owners, is the association they call them, Petron, is it not so? And Impeachment. These are monopolies now coming to dictate prices of petroleum products for Nigerians. Then where lie that section 16 of 4 of our constitutional democracy?
Barrister, you just made mention of something that
monopoly.
Yes.
Talking about monopoly now, is it proper that in a deregulated economy, NMPCL is still fixing price of products?
That is, see, the problem we are saying is this. Yes, it is proper, not fixing.
In what sense?
No, it's not fixing. That's what Margaret Thatcher said. If you allow these forces to go, you might be buying a liter of this for maybe 8,000 naira in the UK and here. So that's like Thatcher said. Yes, there is deregulation, but when there's a government body that will intelligently try and regulate when they are going because of the sake for the people, because we are there.
So subsidies should be brought back.
That is what we are advocating for. So what should happen is this: if you can't bring subsidy back, then NNPC or any other body at all should interact with this Petron, Impeachment, or whatever they call them on press. Say, no, please. I know that you are going to make profit, as the case may be. But when you begin to profiteer, it becomes a problem for the citizens and those who were serving. Instead of 10 naira, you are putting this. Why can't you make it 9.5 or 8, whatever as the case may be?
Okay.
So, but in the case here in Nigeria is that they model up everything. We don't even know what policies NNPC is upholding on our behalf. NNPC as a corporation, Nigerian one, ought to be working for the
Now
Nigerian masses.
you're touching on where I was going to, go to. And then you're talking about Ipman and Petroa determining prices when it's NNPC that determines the price. Basically, NNPC determines the price and they just add their own based on transportation from one point to another. And these people are also in business to make money. All right? But let me come to you now, Dilip. Let's talk about the fact that, one, NNPC insisted on having its those that work with NNPC having an office
in Dangote.
at the Dangote refinery. NNPC and Dangote are doing petrol business, crude for Naira, petrol to PMS to NNPC, and then the marketers are buying from NNPC, and it is the price that NNPC tells them that they will work on and add a little extra. Meanwhile, Dangote refinery is not telling them how much it is selling directly to NNPCL. The Dangote refinery has not opened its doors for the marketers to come and bargain. If they decide that, look, they want to buy for 800 and something from Dangote, wouldn't that bring down the price of fuel?
Now let me ask you a question. I'll throw this back to you.
You have to answer the question, please.
I'll answer your question. But then, what I'm saying is, let's look at this analogy.
Okay.
If you open a store, you are selling grocery, and then anybody can come in and buy. Then suddenly, they get to the store, and there's nothing to buy. Definitely, those who are eager to buy will be disappointed. Is that not so? Now, I just said one thing. 86 gantries.
What if they get to the store and your neighbor who has money has bought everything from you, taking the burden off you so you can get more? And
then you now
he's expecting
direct
people to come
your
and buy.
customers to that your neighbor that had obtaken that commodity.
Isn't that what we are seeing play out?
Now, which means by hook, that customer, which is NNPC now, the off-taker, had deliberately through the back door reinvented its own way of bringing back regulation.
Okay.
Which is at variance with what the president declared to Nigerians. And then, who then reins in that violator of that pronouncement of the president? So, you now know that what we are saying here, what we are saying totally is that there is something to hide between Dangote and NNPCL, because NNPCL is no longer wholly owned by the federal government or Nigeria as a limited liability company.
They still have 60%.
They are not, but it's not wholly owned.
Wholly owned, yes. Go ahead.
Nigeria has 51% in LNG, but NLNG is succeeding because there was no vice grip, and there is still no vice grip of NLNG. And they are making profit, huge profit for that matter. You understand? But NNPCL is supposed to be a limited liability company. But today, who appoints the director? Have you ever heard of any AGM in NNPC? When last was the account of NNPCL audited?
So basically, this still brings
what we are
trouble
saying,
of Nigerians to
what
the
we are
table
saying,
of the government.
What we are saying is,
does it?
There is no sincerity in the whole mix.
Okay.
Either from government, from the father of NNPCL that is the baby of government, so to say, which it ought not to be, and even the private investor who had invested over $20 billion in a refinery. And most of these monies were loans from international institutions.
Are we seeing?
You understand? So,
Mr. Dele.
you see, let's not paper over all these things. What has happened in the whole mix is that Dangote had federal government in mind to complete that refinery because of the 26% promised by Buhari. But Buhari was only able to pay 7.2%
Stake. Yeah.
And he needed that money to complete that refinery.
All right.
And Tinubu came and said he cannot go further beyond the 7.2.
You were.
So he's left with 19% that he needs to complete that refinery. And that's why they will be doing all this back and forth.
You were a Labour correspondent for several years, and you understand the issue of strike, protest, and all of that. Between the NLC and the TUC, which one is more powerful? That is one. The second leg of the question is that TUC is barking like a dog. Reverse the pump price of fuel. In fact, bring it down to where it was May 29, 2023. Otherwise, you are going to witness massive shutdown, strike of
mother of all strike.
Do you think that TUC has the capability to pull off?
TUC has the capability.
But do you think it will?
But let me tell you the dynamics of labor and the strengths and weaknesses of NLC and TUC. NLC is the umbrella body of affiliates of junior workers. TUC is an umbrella body of senior workers. And it was because NLC was becoming a behemoth and a monster that government could not contain. That was why they had to register TUC to counter NLC. So forget about what the president of TUC and NLC are doing. It's like Tom and Jerry. That's one. Then two, NLC has a formidable Lupeng under its belt, which is a major player in the downstream sector that is giving us problems in Nigeria today. Whereas TUC has Pengasin, which is the umbrella body of Senior Staff Association in the oil and gas industry. And the only power TUC has over that sector cannot be carried out, which is shutting down flow stations.
So are you saying that we're going to experience or see another protest or another revolution happening in
Nigeria?
So
what I'm saying is TUC had been precluded by law because government knew that if they allow free rein in TUC, they can shut down the flow stations, right, and Nigeria will lose money.
All right, then this will be a good
where does that take us?
Because we're absolutely out of time here.
I understand that.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I just understood. Now I got to know a difference between the NLC and TUC.
So clearly, you have stated that TUC is a toothless bulldog. So we shouldn't expect anything.
I've not said
from
that.
TUC.
I've not said that.
So what do you?
Let's wait for how the strike will take, the shape it will take.
If they don't reverse.
If they don't reverse.
It's all right.
All right then. Thank you very much, Dele Fanimo, reporter, a VOP in-house analyst. We thank you for your time.
Always my pleasure.
And also big thanks to Barrister Asim Adams. Thank you for your time. And
thank you.
You're very passionate about
Rivers State. I just
Rivers State.
If I have a second, just
yes.
I want to appeal to Rivers people, especially the governor and the SOWK. They should resolve this particular issue peacefully. Mahatma Gandhi said that, there is nothing like peace, that the most disadvantageous peace is better than a just war. If you say the war is just, you must fight and fight, we are going to fight forever. But even though some of these peace, whatever, they are disadvantageous, but because it's peace that we come, please accept and let all of us work together. Rivers State is a very good state, nice state. Please, I pray for peace for Rivers State.
All right, that's an appeal going out to the players in the issues going on in Rivers State. Well, thank you very much once again, Barrister Asim Adams.
Thank you very much.
But that's it on the show today. VOP this morning, wrapping up. Big thanks from the backroom staff and my colleagues here. We encourage you to stay with us because at 9 o'clock we'll go into newspaper analysis during the newspaper review part of the morning show. Stick around.